Can you rely on your realtor to provide all of the information about a particular neighborhood or school? It might seem like you should be able to. After all, your agent knows the local market inside and out. But when it comes to topics like schools, crime, or even the feel of a neighborhood, there are legal limits to what we can say. What's surprising is that some agents still give opinions on these things, even though it's actually against the law. It might sound helpful in the moment, but commenting on schools or crime can cross the legal line under fair housing laws and regulations. That's why in today's video, I want to explain what those laws mean for you as a buyer, what I can help you with during your property search here in Eugene, and how you can still get the information you need the right way. Hi, I'm Bryn Cook, a realtor here in Eugene, Oregon. On this channel, I coach you through the real estate process and have some fun along the way. Let's start with what fair housing laws and regulations actually are. The Federal Fair Housing Act was passed back in 1968. After years of inequity and discrimination on housing access, it made it illegal to treat people differently when it comes to buying, selling, renting, or financing a home because of race, color, religion, sex, national origin, disability, or familial status. Oregon adds even more protections. Things like marital status, sexual orientation, and source of income, which means it's against the law to make housing decisions based on where someone's money comes from, whether that's a job, child support, or a housing voucher. In short, these laws exist to make sure that everyone has equal access to housing opportunities. And as realtors, we are trained, licensed, and obligated to uphold those standards every single day. That's not just a legal requirement. It's part of building trust and fairness in the communities we live and work in. Now, let's talk about what this means to you as a buyer. There are things I can absolutely help with, and some things I can't. For example, I can help you understand the housing market in Eugene, like how prices differ between South Eugene and Santa Clara, or which areas might give you the best commute to the university or the hospital. I can show you homes that fit in your budget, your space needs, your preferred lifestyle, like being near parks, coffee shops, and bike paths. What I can't do is guide you toward or away from specific neighborhoods based on who lives there. So if someone says, we want a neighborhood with good schools and low crime, that's where it gets tricky because those terms mean different things to different people, and they can unintentionally link to protected classes under fair housing laws. If I were to say, that's a good area for families, or you probably wouldn't like that neighborhood, that could be interpreted as steering, which is exactly what these laws are designed to prevent. So instead, I focus on facts like data and your personal priorities. Now let's talk about how you can safely find the information that you need about schools. Start with websites like greatschools.org. It's one of the most commonly used tools. You can compare test scores, read parent reviews, and look at class sizes. It's not perfect, but it's a solid starting point. You can also go straight to the Oregon Department of Education website, where you can view detailed report cards for every school. These include graduation rates, demographics, and even teacher-to-student ratios. And don't forget about district websites. Here in Eugene, we have the 4J and Bethel school districts. Both share information about academic programs, language immersion options, and extracurricular activities. If you prefer firsthand feedback, join local Facebook groups or parent community pages. People are often happy to share their experiences. Though remember, these are personal opinions, not official data. Once you've done your research, I can absolutely help you find the home within your preferred school boundaries or districts. That's a totally appropriate and fair way to align your search. Now let's talk about safety and crime, because that's another big question. Here's how you can dig into it yourself. The City of Eugene Police Department offers a community crime page on their website. It shows reports of incidents in different areas, and you can filter by date or type. I've also had clients call the police department on the phone and ask detailed questions about specific neighborhoods. Would they feel comfortable living in that specific neighborhood based on what they've seen? You can also use sites like crimemapping.com or spotcrime.com, which pull from public police data. They're not perfect, but they give you a general idea of what's happening around town. If you want to feel for neighborhood activity, Nextdoor can be helpful. Though, as anyone who's been on there knows, it's sometimes a mix of useful information and a little neighborhood drama. Still, it gives you insight into how active or connected a community can be. And finally, one of the most underrated ways to evaluate a neighborhood is to simply visit it. Walk or drive through at different times of day. Notice things like lighting, traffic, and how people interact. That gut feeling you get from being there in person is something online maps cannot replace. All of these are great ways to do your own homework, and you'll be fully within your rights to make your own observations without putting your realtor in a difficult position. Now, let's flip the question. What can your agent help you with? Quite a lot, actually. I can help you interpret market data, negotiate effectively, understand disclosures, and guide you through inspections and repairs. I can also connect you with local professionals like lenders, inspectors, appraisers, and contractors. And when it comes to choosing a home, I can help you evaluate what you can control. Things like home size, layout, neighborhood amenities, commute times, and price point, without drifting into the topics that fall under the fair housing law. Here's an example. If you tell me you want a quiet street that's close to nature, I might show you listings in the Southwest Hills or near the Ridgeline Trail system. If you want walkability and proximity to restaurants, I might point you toward the Friendly Street area. That's all about lifestyle and location, not who lives there. The goal of fair housing laws and regulations isn't to limit your search. It's to make sure it's fair and based on facts, not assumptions. These laws protect everyone, you, me, and the community as a whole. They ensure that decisions are made on financial and practical grounds, not personal characteristics. And that's important because housing shapes so much of our lives. Where our kids go to school, what communities we're part of, and how we build long-term stability. Everyone deserves to make those choices freely and without bias. So as you start your home search, here's my advice. Be open, do your research, and work with a realtor who takes these standards seriously. If you ever have questions about how to get reliable information the right way, or you just want help building a home search strategy that's ethical, smart, and effective, I'd love to connect. Fair housing laws aren't about making things complicated. They're about keeping things fair, transparent, and focused on what truly matters, finding the right home for you. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more insights on Eugene real estate, the local market, and life here in the Pacific Northwest. I'll see you next time.